Oh, yeah.
Does whatever a spider can.
I'm trying to start the segment.
Spider-Man.
I'm not editing any of this shit. I want people to know what I have to put up with every podcast.
Don't put a microphone in front of me.
Or a camera on you. All right, we are back with our movie R&D. The end of Phase 3. Is it Phase 3? Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are zero.
You're right. Phase 3.
Phase 3. Yeah, you're right.
I love it.
Is this the worst show we ever did? I mean, it's close, right?
Possibly.
The movie R&D, the end of Phase 3, Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Yes.
We're going to try something different this week. So we always spoil it right off the bat. Like we just said, we label it spoilers. We're going to attempt to not spoil this for a little bit. We will give you a clear and obvious spoiler when it's time for spoiler talk. But we'll just give our initial impressions of the movie.
Yes.
And let's score it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll warn everyone and go into some spoiler talk.
Okay. I think that's good.
Let's try something
Let's
new.
do that.
Try something new. What are you doing over there?
Looking up something with my ears real quick.
Looking up something with my ears.
I dream of the day when one day we sit down and just be professionals. I wish you guys could see this. I wish we were videoing this. I don't even know what you're doing.
I'm going to take a picture and put it on our Facebook page.
Oh my gosh. Somebody help me.
That's the greatest photo.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
Professionals.
All right, awesome.
I will bring up why I did that later.
Okay. Do you want to do your
I don't know. I don't want to do anything. We'll go home. All right. Do what? What do you want me to do?
intro of the movie? You always do your funny
Particulars.
voice. There you go.
Well, I don't have a funny voice. What are you talking about?
Like
I'm
your
not trying to have a funny
voice.
I'm not trying to have I'm just trying to read.
You read funny.
You look funny.
Go for it.
Spider-Man Far From Home is a 2019 American superhero film based on... Is that funny? Is that why it's funny? I hate everything today.
Leave a comment if you think it's funny.
Leave a comment if you think it's funny.
Spider-Man Far From Home. Oh, I can't do it.
Is a 2019 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics character Spider-Man.
Wow.
Co-produced by Columbia Pictures and Marvel Studios and distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. It is the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming and the 23rd film in the MCU. The film is directed by John Watts, written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, and stars Tom Holland.
Yeah.
You don't have to
As
read
Peter Parker,
everything.
Spider-Man.
See, a professional wouldn't read all that crap. Like,
Hey, you wrote it.
it's the sequel to Spider-Man. No shit.
Hey.
All right.
All right, let's talk. Because
Zendaya is the star too. She's MJ. Zendaya. She only that's her name. Zendaya.
Zendaya.
What was that
yeah.
one guy? PB Smooth.
Zendaya.
JB Smooth.
JB
PB
Smooth.
You know
PB
what
Smooth.
Zendaya was also in? The Greatest Showman.
PB Smooth
PB
is
Smooth.
in my wrestling promotion.
Zendaya. Oh my gosh. You
Well,
people.
see, PB Smooth spells his name right, but like this guy is PB Smooth.
Yeah, it's like smooth.
All right. Can we talk about this movie?
I don't know what's going on.
Spider-Man, Far From Home.
This is this is like a big episode, but we're just we're just pooping all over it.
All right. Thoughts?
I like it.
It was
like it.
It was good.
Very good.
There's so much to say about this.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. But the first act was very slow for me. It definitely if you look at it as a teenage romance for a while, it's a really good movie.
That is kind of how I looked at it, and
Yeah.
I didn't mind it so much.
I didn't either. I felt like, and Andrew, we talked about this after the movie, is that it was so different than like all the other Spider-Man movies. It just had a different feel to it in a good way, though.
Yes.
Like, you weren't getting just the same old stuff regurgitated to you.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there was a lot of new stuff, and it felt fresh, and it just really held my attention the whole time. You're right. I did feel like the beginning was a little slow, but not so slow that it didn't engage me.
Well, I coming off Endgame, like you're just and Infinity War, you're just kind of like jacked for the action and the superheroes everywhere. So when this one starts out like this is just a love story, it threw me off a little bit. It took me a while. Yeah, it's a little bit. Because I don't know why. When I accepted the fact that this was more of a love story, a teenage coming of age story, I was fine with it. I liked it. But okay.
I felt like they did a good job paralleling. Like at the beginning, it was a little corny at the beginning, but I felt like they did a good job. Well, I don't want to do spoilers yet, but I felt like the beginning started a little corny for me. But I feel like it was necessary, and I felt like they did a good job of paralleling in the movie how you're right. You just came off of these crazy events with the
You
what
can
do they
spoil
call it? What do they call it?
The blip.
The blip.
Yeah.
These people are coming off the blip and trying to again go back into their regular lives, and just like we're coming off of Endgame and trying to now go into a new movie that okay, there's not all this craziness, but there's still going to be some drama.
Right.
So I felt like they did a good job paralleling how they were dealing with it and how probably viewers and fans of the MCU were probably coming off of the Endgame.
Yeah.
So.
I just had like a lot of questions from like the other movies, so I was like super focused into the movie because like, okay, what are they going to hint at? Like, what's happened here since like the blip?
Yeah.
I have stuff to talk about, but I guess I'm going to say
Yeah, hold on a bit.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna do this part long. For me, I was waiting for all these answers, waiting for the. Are you kidding me? What the hell was that? That summed up this podcast.
Pop or bust right there.
That was pop or bust. I'm gonna tell everybody what you did. Somebody's slipping stuff out their bum holes over here. Are you kidding me? Is this? Oh God.
One way to release tension. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. And that about sums up our whole show for today. Yeah, but wanting to know answers, wanting to know where they're going. That was the biggest thing. Like, they didn't really play that card to the end credits, right?
Yeah.
There's some other stuff that we can talk about in spoilers where they're talking about a little bit of the future, but most of this movie is a love story between MJ and Peter. I didn't think the humor was as good in this movie as, like, Homecoming or even other Marvel movies.
I agree.
They put a lot into it. I just didn't find the jokes, like... I didn't find them
land as smoothly as they usually do.
I didn't find them like not funny. I just didn't find them like funny. Does that make sense? Like they didn't annoy me. They just didn't make me laugh out loud either.
I don't find them memorable.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They were okay at the time, but it's not like there's a thing in the movie that I'm like, oh my goodness, remember when?
Yeah.
I didn't have a moment like that, which I feel like every other Marvel movie I usually leave and think, oh my gosh, that part was so funny. It was hysterical,
Yeah.
But it also wasn't that kind of movie.
Yeah, but it tried to be.
Do you think it tried to be?
Yes.
I didn't find it trying to be.
Oh, they tried to be humorous a lot of this movie, and it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't like laugh out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, both teachers were idiots.
Oh yeah,
You know
they
what I
were
mean?
corny.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even mean idiots in a bad way. Like I didn't mind them. I just they're written as idiots,
Yeah.
And they were trying to be comedy relief, and
Yeah.
It didn't work a lot of the time.
I did
No.
find them a little corny.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad they didn't get too much screen time.
Yeah,
In
you're
fact,
right.
a lot of characters were oh God, my brain. Who's the kid? Flash. Yeah, he's supposed to be comedy relief. Just a different kind of comedy relief. But I didn't find his parts that funny either.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't think the humor was good, but that doesn't mean the movie wasn't. I really did like the movie a lot.
Yeah, I did too.
All right, well, let's give our scores because it's really hard to talk about the things I want to talk about without spoiling anything.
Yeah.
All right, this is how we do it in Culture Pop on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the best score you can get, and theming it, the Peter Tingle.
Oh my gosh. What
Peter
in
Tingle.
the world?
Nope, it's the Peter Tingle.
All right, whatever. We're going to talk about that in the spoiler section.
Why would we talk about it in spoilers?
Oh, gosh. Stop.
Oh, you're talking about Spider-Man. No, I was talking about the Peter Tingle.
Stop it. Stop.
Oh, her face got
10.
red. You're farting on the podcast, but I can't make a little Peter Tingle joke without embarrassing you. 10 being the Peter Tingle, 1 being Christy farting on this podcast, 5 being average. Who wants to be put on the hot seat first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Of course she will.
All right, what was that supposed to mean? I liked this movie a lot. It held my attention. I actually liked the direction they went with all of the characters. And the humor did bother me a little bit. I found some of it a little corny, but not overly corny where it was distracting. So I am actually going to go a 9.
Oh, you're going to a 9.
I'm going to a 9.
Wow, that's
I
surprising.
really like this movie a lot. And I'll be honest, I feel good at a 9. I wish that I liked Spider-Verse so much better than this movie.
Whoa,
I just really loved
no.
Spider-Verse. I really did. I love that movie a lot. And now I wish I would have given Spider-Verse a 10. I gave it a 9.5, I believe. But I wish I would have given that a 10 because
But
I
you
think it
didn't.
deserved a 10. But yeah, this is definitely a 9 for me.
All right.
Did I give Spider-Verse a 10?
No.
I thought it was like a 9.8 or something. It was like just
Yeah.
slightly off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't like the animation as much.
This is tough. Because, like, that was definitely a Spider-Man story, but Spider-Man wasn't in it.
It's true.
And this is, like, has more street cred to me.
Yeah.
Because it's actually Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you know, they're definitely all Spider-Men from the Spider-Verse, like, all, like, and women from, like, different dimensions and stuff.
Yeah. This is the original Spider-Man. This is Peter
Yeah.
Parker Spider-Man.
This is 616
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
That's the one I like, I guess. Whatever. It's what I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, I don't know. I'm going to give it like a 9.8, maybe?
9.8.
Yeah, whatever. 9.8.
Wow, that's a high score too. You did like this movie. You were saying how much you liked it
I
coming
freaking
out
love
of
Spider-Man, all right?
it. No, you're allowed. That's why we're here. Yeah.
It
All
just-
right. All right, go ahead.
I guess just those jokes that didn't really land. And I could sort of predict what was going to happen. Because,
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
well,
were-
hold on. You guys are going to spoil something.
there
All
were
right.
scenarios.
For me, well, this is a tough one to score because I don't want to score it a perfect 10 because it's not. But I scored Spider-Verse a 10. And I like this movie better than Spider-Verse. So I'm in a dilemma where I probably miscalculated my Spider-Verse score.
I disagree.
Nah.
I remember leaving Spider-Verse and all three of us, like, just jumping out of our skin with excitement of how much we loved that movie.
I know.
And
Yeah.
as much as I love this movie, I did not feel that
Christy?
from any of us
I've
coming
grown.
out of that movie.
No, I've grown since then.
Stop.
As a critiquer, as an influencer of the world,
You're not influencing anyone. Shut up.
I do think I jumped the gun on that, and that's why I shouldn't be giving out 10s that much unless I'm absolutely sure, because this movie is better. It is like I agree with Sandra. This is the Spider-Man 616 Peter Parker growing up, and the story of him being still in his childhood is something that's not really done in any of the other movies.
Yeah.
And I love that they're doing it again in this movie. He's only 16 in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think he was like 14 in the first one or something like that. But I love that. I think that's great. The love story with MJ. She is an incredible actor, actually.
Isn't she
Yeah.
amazing?
That Zendaya girl. She is, I hope I'm saying that right, but
You are.
man, I really like her as an actor. I didn't like her in the first movie. I was like, man, I don't like her as MJ. I love her as MJ in this movie,
Yeah.
Same.
And you know, if you would ever see her in The Greatest Showman, she is so different in that movie.
Really?
Like, she has such range of character. If you see these two movies like side by side, you're like, that's the same girl, and it's crazy. Like, really crazy.
There's a lot of good scenes in this movie that I can't talk about now, but man, there's some really good scenes that prop us up. This movie was like a 7 to 8 to me for the first bit. And then the second act came, and I was like, oh, this is 8 or 9. This is getting better. And then the third act came, and man, it blew. The third act in this movie is terrific.
Yes.
It is so freaking good. I don't do decimals, and I can't give it. I have to give it a 9, I think.
Ooh.
I know it doesn't make sense. I can't perfect 10 it because the humor didn't land. It was a really slow start for me. Like, there was a point where I'm like, damn it, is this gonna suck? Like, I thought that for one moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was taking a while to set up the trip and everything, you know? And the jokes weren't landing, and they were trying to land some jokes early, and they weren't. And I was like, man, this might suck. But it didn't, thank God. Yeah, I have to go for a 9.
Should I go for a 9.6? I don't know.
That's up to you. I think this was better than Spider-Verse. I think I mislabeled Spider-Verse as a perfect 10. It was an extremely good movie, too.
I'm
You
gonna
can
have to
shake
watch
your
it
head.
again, honestly.
Yeah, I've watched it twice, and honestly, the second time I really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first time, though. I think the
Yeah.
first time was me being more shocked at how much I liked someone else that was Spider-Man when I didn't believe I would. Watching the second time, it was still a really good movie, but it's just not Peter Parker. And I still love Peter Parker. All right, so what's our final score right now?
Our family score comes out to a 9.266666667.
I have a degree in teaching math. Can you round the damn numbers once for me?
Hey,
One
language,
time.
sir.
Round the goddamn number.
Language.
All right, I'm just kidding. 9.3. I'll help her out. All right, that's a fair score. That's way above
That is a fair score.
a lot of the reviews I've read. We are higher. There's a lot of meh reviews on it, and that surprises me. So anyway, let's get into spoiler talk. Okay, so here's your spoiler warning: 3, 2, 1. Spoiler territory. All right, now let's really dissect this movie.
All right. Now what?
Well,
now what?
let's start with this. I am shocked by how well the characters play teenagers when they are so much older than the characters they're supposed to be playing.
Is that true? I don't know how old.
Zendaya is 22 years old.
Wow.
Okay, how old is Tom Holland?
Tom Holland is 23 years old.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So,
He does not look 23.
No, he doesn't.
Right?
I'd believe he's 16.
yeah,
Huh.
Oh, he's a tiny
As old
dude.
as me.
it's crazy. The one scene when they're in the hotel and he's at her door, her hotel room door.
Yeah.
When they pan away, I noticed how tall she is, and I'm like, wow, she's tall.
She's taller than
Yeah.
he is.
She's
Yeah.
super tall.
Yeah.
And you don't see that as much in the other shots, but in that shot when they panned away, I was like, whoa, she was like almost up to the door frame. She's tall.
When they were swinging around at the end, and she puts him on the ground, and they were standing.
She puts him on the ground.
Or, I mean, he puts her on the ground. It could have been the other way, but she's taller than him by at least like an inch.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
funny.
Crazy.
But Spider-Man's a tiny superhero. Like he
Oh,
was.
yeah, he is.
He was written tiny in the comic books. He's a kid, And this is the Spider-Man I want to see.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, going through high school, trying to juggle life and women and what he wants.
He's so good at it.
Yes.
Juggling what he wants versus what he's probably should be doing because of the power he has.
Right.
Great power, great responsibility.
And I think this movie shows that struggle so well. Like, he wants the responsibility, but he wants to be able to hand it off when it's inconvenient.
Right.
And that's what teenager isn't like that, you know? It's like they want responsibility, but only when it's convenient for them,
Right.
So, yeah. So, starting off with this movie, so of course we have Mysterio entering the fray.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
the first time he is introduced to the MCU.
And any
Any film.
any film, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Actually, the MCU's done a good job of not rehashing old Spider-Man movie villains,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mysterio's a cool villain. Like he's always been a cool villain. And I couldn't believe it's taken this long to. But I think technology has a lot to do with it. They probably couldn't do
Yeah.
a good Mysterio movie 15 years ago, but now they
Fair.
can. And
That's
man,
fair.
they took advantage of it. I liked what they did with him. Andrew, you're a big Spider-Man fan. Did you like how they wrote Mysterio in this movie?
Yes. I mean, I feel like it was obvious he's a bad guy. He's just trying to convince them that he's a good guy the whole time. I was
Yeah.
just waiting for them to do that, but the way
Yeah.
they did it was I thought very well done.
I did too.
And you guys might disagree, but I think they kind of figured out fans are going to see through this. They're going to know that I don't think the shock was that he was the bad guy. I think it was in his backstory and where he came from and what his motivation was. I think that's was kind of the twist under it all that made it interesting.
I wonder if that was actually planned out from the last movie whenever they were explaining Barf.
Nah, I don't think. I think what was that, Civil War?
Yeah, that was a while back.
That was a while back. So I
Yeah.
doubt. I don't even know if they had to. No, they would have had the Spider-Man license, but that would have been the first movie Spider-Man was in.
Yeah.
I doubt it. Nah, yeah.
I
I
just-
don't know though. Maybe,
Maybe.
but they definitely that was an added shot that they added to the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of Jake being there, Gyllenhaal, Quentin Beck, whatever.
Yeah.
I never know what to call should I call it by the character name or his real name when we're doing this podcast?
Either.
Or Mysterio.
Let's just go with Mysterio. But then from Iron Man 1, that doctor was there and yada, yada, yada. They kind of stole some background characters that made him more important in this movie.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like the way they wrote Mysterio. Like he was trying to fool him. He's an illusionist. That's what he does, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought it was like we all knew he was gonna turn evil.
Yeah.
Like but
The
like-
way he did it was just not what I was expecting, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
'Cause
okay.
no, you first.
I was just gonna say when you knew they beat the elementals so early in the movie. You're like, who's left? What's left for him to do? Mysterio's gonna turn on him, you know?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So you're just waiting for it to happen.
And they were teasing that he was actually from like some other dimension and stuff, 'cause that's what he was telling them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The multiverse.
Turns out, no.
Yeah, that's all horse shit. Like people were like from the trailer, people were like, "Oh, here it comes. We're starting the multiverse in the MCU." They could still do that, but they didn't do it this movie.
Yeah.
That was it was all horse shit. He was lying.
That was smoke.
Mm-hmm.
He did use the right number though.
Yep, 616.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's cool. I wonder if the other one was like an actual dimension from the comics or anything.
Probably.
It was like 819, maybe.
I,
I
don't know.
don't know.
It was
These
I
are-
thought it was 893, but I might
It's
be wrong.
possible.
These guys are smart. Like this group that follows Mysterio.
They're
They're all
geniuses.
geniuses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They create this tech of that where drones can create these really elaborate illusions.
right.
They have it's cool because the illusions can hurt you. Not technically the illusion, but the drones controlling the illusion can hurt you.
Yes.
So I thought that was cool. So they gave it some because I've seen Spider-Man comics where the illusions were just illusions,
Yeah.
and they were meant to fool you and make you do something stupid, kind of like when Spider-Man gets hit by the train at the one
Oh
point.
yeah.
Yeah.
But these illusions could hurt you
Yeah.
because of the tech
They have
involved.
power behind them.
So that definitely added something a more dangerous Mysterio to the bunch.
Yeah, and it made it believable. And I know that sounds stupid. It's a superhero movie. It doesn't necessarily need to be believable.
Yeah.
But it did make me feel like, okay, this is legitimate. Like this, has a little bit of, it's not just fluff. Like it has it can stand on it,
Kind of.
I
Yeah.
just felt like,
I feel like the fire elemental was probably the most. It was like the hardest to explain for me because how could the drone make like lava come out of the earth and stuff? You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it was just an illusion. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but there was still like actual like
Fires.
carnage and
Yeah.
stuff left behind.
I felt like I don't know if the movie did a good job of this, but I felt like when there was supposed to be like the wind knock you over, it was the drone shooting you with that wind burst, and if something blew up, it was the drone shooting like a grenade down at the ground. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So like you said, when the lava came up, did they throw napalm down? I don't know. You know?
Yeah, like how did that work?
Napalm.
Like they didn't do quite a good job of that, but that's a tall task.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the scene where Mysterio is like he's gonna beat Spider-Man the first time.
Yeah.
And man, what a scene where they're just jumping around. It's almost like a nightmare for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And, oh my god,
That
I
was
thought,
so good.
And he's putting all the holograms up, and it's just a hologram after hologram, and
yeah,
that's really, really good. And I like when Spider-Man goes back, and he's like, I just need to remember that it's not real. I need to find my way into the hologram, and then I'll find him, and he's just a man.
Yeah.
He's just a man
Yep.
that is,
Man.
has all of this tech in front of him. But
Just seeing like the zombie Iron Man coming at him.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So
Yeah.
cool.
that was
Yeah.
like I was like, oh, that's so wrong.
yikes.
There's a zombie Iron Man in this movie. It's tits.
Looks so sweet.
My gosh.
It was very creative, and then at the end, he gets hit by that train. And I don't know why, but when someone gets hit by a train in a movie, I find it so funny
Oh,
because he's there one moment, and the next moment it's like boom.
That train was flying.
yeah.
I don't know. I laughed.
Yikes.
It wasn't an appropriate laugh, but I laughed at that point.
Oh my gosh.
But then we got Peter Parker like just beat up. He's not dead or anything, but he's hurting.
Yeah.
And this was my favorite scene in the movie is when Happy picks him up, brings him in, they have the heart to heart. He's
Yeah.
like, "You're not ever going to be Tony Stark," because the whole movie they're leaning towards everyone's asking Peter or asking Spider-Man who's the next Iron Man, and they're like, it's like expected the Spider-Man will be.
Right.
And he's like, I can't do it. I can't be Tony. He's like, nobody can be Tony. Tony couldn't be Tony. He was always
Yeah.
second guessing himself. He was always, worried
A
about
mess.
a mess. He said Tony couldn't even live up to that.
And how true is that? Like, I felt like the whole movie, I forgot that, how messed up Tony Stark's was and
Yeah.
what an absolute train wreck he was.
Yeah.
And to the point when Happy said that, I was like, oh my God, you're right. Tony was a mess. Like it
Yeah.
reminded me. So I love that movie. I love the relationship they built between Happy and Spider-Man
I do too.
throughout this movie.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
When he gets to the back of the plane and he's like, he gets pumped. He's like, I'm going to kick his ass. You know? He's like, well, yeah, but what are we going to do now?
What are we gonna do now? We've been sitting in a tulip field for 15 minutes.
He goes back and he starts making a suit, and he's looking like Tony when he built his Iron Man suit.
Yes.
Like his real Iron Man suit, not the one in the cave. And he's putting his hand in the hologram and testing it out and stuff. And he says, I'll get the music, and Black and Black plays.
Oh,
so cool.
That was my
I
favorite
just
scene.
remember looking down the aisle at you guys, and everyone has the same exact look on their face. It's like, yeah, game on.
It was badass. And to me, that was like the MCU acknowledging Spider-Man's going to be our leader for the next phase.
Yeah, I love Led Zeppelin.
I love Led Zeppelin. But how about Tom Holland stepping into that role at that moment? Didn't you feel like you were watching Tony Stark soul come to life as he's
in a way,
doing
yeah.
that? I was like, wow.
With the Spider-Man vibe, definitely though. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're very similar, like intellectually and the way they figure stuff out in the comic books and in the movies, you know. And the really thing that only separates them is money and age.
Yeah.
You know?
Because he is very smart.
Yeah, he's extremely smart. Peter Parker is extremely smart.
He's
you know?
only 15.
I guess I just see so much depth in the Tom Holland, like as an actor.
Yeah.
Like just seeing him in different, like, I don't know, like you see him when he's feeling like really emotional or really like he's just not confident in himself, playing that kind of character. But then when he gets more confident and he's like ready to turn it on and go after these guys, he just can transition and make you believe whatever he's feeling. You just feel it to the bone. Like it's crazy. He's so good at it.
I agree. I think by far he's my favorite Spider-Man in any movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tobey Maguire fans are wrong.
Wrong.
Because even
Wrong.
when Toby was sad, and you know, Spider-Man always gets beat up mentally.
Yeah,
That's kind of the hero's trial of the character. Toby's, and I like Toby as Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong. I think he did a great job. He was my favorite until this one. He just looked like a whiny bitch though.
Yeah.
He was crying. He got that little sad face.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, he looked like he was like 30 or something.
Yeah.
Going to high school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when Tom does it, like you don't get like he's not a whiner. He's struggling. You don't. It's a totally different vibe you get from him.
Yeah.
You get the correct one from Holland.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes.
You know. So anyway, that was a badass scene, and I love the final fight. Like,
So good.
oh, it was good. He's fighting all these drones, which sounds boring until you watch it, and
Yeah.
all the creative way he's beating the shit out of these drones.
Like
He
that-
What's that?
Like he grabbed that freaking sign, made a shield out of it. Then he had like whatever he did to make like a
That
freaking
bomb.
Like a like
Did you guys get like a Thor, Captain America, Iron Man?
Yes.
When he
Oh
did
my
that?
gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. You're like, oh my goodness.
Because he had the shield, he had that thing, but it was kind of holding almost like it was a hammer. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, he's like, that was to me, that was like the creator saying, "This is the guy
Yeah.
again."
So cool.
Yeah, I liked when Happy threw the one shield, the armor shield,
Yeah.
and it just fell to the ground. He's like, I don't know how Cap does that shit.
I don't know. My favorite scene might have to be that hallway bridge type scene where
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like the final fight with
Oh, yeah.
Mysterio.
Yeah,
And he tries using that, hologram stuff on him
for
again.
the
Then
last time.
he learns.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so cool.
That caught me off guard. I believe I would have fell for that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, that's the real one. He got shot. That's it.
Wow.
When he reached out and something shot, I didn't get what happened at first until it panned over, and I'm like, oh, shit.
my
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
I was like, that's sweet. All
The
right.
stakes were
I
high.
thought the
He was about
same
to
thing.
actually kill that little boy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yikes.
It was good, man.
So this is kind of a side note, but I don't know if you guys picked up on it. There's two things actually. When Happy's in the room in the Tower of London with Zendaya and the other characters, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, are we gonna die?" And he's like, "No one dies on my watch." And I wanted someone to say, "But didn't Tony Stark die?" Weren't you like? And then I was like, maybe it's too soon for that joke. But
That's cold joke, Christy. Jesus.
was like, really Happy? That's probably not the best thing to say. But and I couldn't.
But when
like,
he says that,
take it.
like when he says that though, it was like a big joke setup. Like he says it and there's this long pause. I'm like, what?
Yeah, like
I'm waiting for the
no
joke.
One's gonna.
Nobody said anything. I was like, where's the joke here?
Yeah, it was funny. But another thing that I noticed when when Spider-Man goes to meet Zendaya at the end for their date or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he drops down and to meet her, behind them is this long billboard that goes along the street. And it says, "We can't wait to show you what happens next." And I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of interesting."
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, what?
Hold that thought,
know.
because I think we got the answer in the post-credit scenes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Anything else about the regular movie that you guys remember? Do you want to talk about in spoilers?
Ned is always funny.
See, I didn't think he was as good in this movie as the last
Oh my
one.
gosh. I think he is always funny to me. Like, his character is always spot on for me.
It was good.
Yeah, I like him.
I gotta rewatch the first one, to be honest with you. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I thought he was way funnier in the first one. But I liked him in this one. I just thought his jokes didn't land as much for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I think I like this movie so much because it's not just a typical Spider-Man in New York saving the day. I mean, he is saving the day, but like the environment's just so different. He goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Netherlands, Paris, Austria, like they're everywhere. It's crazy.
It's really fun.
And I just thought it was cool how they made up the name Mysterio, just because that's what they were calling him, because they're like in some other country. And
Yeah, they were in Italy. Yeah.
That was cool.
And the simple fact that his eyes like move around so he can show emotion like he does in the comic books was just appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
I like how they made that make sense in Civil War while his eyes focus.
So cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
This movie is worth it just for those Mysterio scenes when he's trying to, confuse Peter.
Did you guys catch? Wait. I'll wait till the post credits before I say that. Never mind.
Okay. I guess we don't have to review it or give our score.
No, let's talk about the post credits. Okay. Did you guys catch the whole movie? I'm like, why is Nick Fury acting different? He was acting so different the whole movie, and every time I was like, maybe that's Mysterio. Maybe that's Mysterio. Maybe that's Mysterio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole time, because I'm like, he's just not acting right. He's acting very mean a lot of times and very, unforgiving. Like he was always kind of caring before, not caring, but
Mentoring.
Like
Like
yeah.
more of a mentor.
This one, he was just like, you better just do shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
do it or get the hell out. And I was like, wow, that's not Nick Fury at all.
Yeah.
And we got our answer. It was a scroll.
Yeah.
Wow. It was. I didn't believe. I didn't understand it yet, but I think they're gonna show
We
us.
will.
Yeah.
We will.
I didn't understand why. Well, it was a good scroll.
Yeah.
So I don't. Why didn't Nick do? Why did Nick Fury need another scroll there to act like him?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Guess
Why?
he wanted a vacation too.
I guess he wanted a vacation. But they open up into it like he's in this place with all these scrolls.
Yeah.
I don't. What's that about?
Yeah. He's like leading a new. I don't know.
No, that's the Secret
Well, that's
Wars.
from Captain Marvel because
Yes.
they were all like hanging out with them because they were like thought they were the bad guys, but it was actually the
Well, and they needed a new world. They needed a new world.
So
The
weren't they
scrolls
just,
needed a new world.
they were just left on that ship, weren't they? or something?
Maybe
Yeah.
like no matter what, I guess what I'm saying is the Secret War storyline is Skrulls, right? And they're all evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's a ton of good ones now. How are they going? Where are they going? It's like backwards.
Yeah.
Maybe
So I don't
new aliens. Maybe they I don't
Another
know,
version of
just modify
Skrulls?
the story slightly.
They're definitely have to modify because I don't think there's any good ones in the comic book, or at least
Yeah.
that story.
Like Civil War was like not the same at all, like how it was.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it. I guess that's the answer. They're going to go for this phase is kind of the Skrulls, the shapeshifters are going to be a big deal. And they were in the comic book. They were a huge deal. So I can
Right.
see the whole phase being written on that.
Hmm.
No Fantastic Four,
No hint of anything.
no hint of anything that I seen. No X-Men hint,
Nothing.
nothing. But the other cutscene,
Yes.
that was my favorite one. I did you? Oh my god, I lost my mind. So they swing and they land, and Peter. So the struggle of Spider-Man was always he's trying to do good, but everybody thinks he's a bad guy. You know,
This
Yeah.
actually kind of ticked me off, and I'll tell you why. in a
It
minute.
should.
off.
Okay,
A
but
little bit. But go
Mysterio set it up where it looks like Spider-Man caused all this havoc, and on comes the Daily Bugle, and they, you
that
know,
was awesome.
Joe Jameson, you know he hates Spider-Man, and guess which one we
Love
got?
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Woo, woo.
Oh my God, that was the best thing in the world. Actually, that's my best scene in the
I
movie.
can't believe that this is real.
When he came
is
on,
happening.
he come on. I was like, no freaking way. There's no
Daily
way.
Bugle is back, buddy.
That is the best decision Marvel's ever made.
Can I just say that
Why didn't you like it? Yeah.
I didn't like it because I really, 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 after all the crap Flash has given, and when I say Flash, I always like think DC, like it's so weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Flash character, the bully that bullies Peter Parker, but loves Spider-Man and worships the ground he walks on.
Yep.
I wanted to see that reveal so bad.
That reaction.
The reaction of Flash when he finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And at the end, when the whole world finds out because Mysterio leaves this video and the Bugle, broadcasts it live,
The whole world finds out his secret identity.
his secret identity.
Yes.
I was like, no, why wouldn't earlier in the movie? I just feel like they missed out on such a huge moment. Like they could have built that in at some point.
I feel like we're still gonna get it.
Yeah, I think
I hope so.
you're still going to get it.
Just the next movie.
Now, I really like that they put Spider-Man back to his roots. Everybody hates him. Dave Bugle's going to write bad stuff about him all the time. Cops are going to hate him. This is Spider-Man's battle. This is
Yep.
vintage Spider-Man. I didn't get the Peter Parker thing, though. That surprised me.
Yeah, I think it might be a little too early.
Yeah, that's a
honestly.
big reveal. I don't know if they're going to do, they could walk it back,
Yeah.
but why do it in the first place? They have a plan.
Yeah. God, that's the only thing that's
Right.
got me worried.
The thing is, Spider-Man always, he fights that balance in life between being a superhero and being a kid. And now everyone in the world knows that Peter Parker is a superhero. And there's no balance. He has to be the superhero. He
Yeah.
doesn't get what he wants again,
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's early for that. I kind of got what they were doing. I think they're really paralleling him and Tony. So at the end of this movie, he sits down and goes, all right, I'm going to talk to you guys about the secret identity and stuff like that. Remember? And it felt like, oh, he's going to tell the world he's Peter Parker. And then it
Right.
cuts to Marissa Tomei and Happy talking. And he's like, are you guys banging or what's going on here?
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, they're just teasing because at the end of Iron Man 1, he was like, oh, yeah, I'm Iron Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he told the world. But then it happened anyway. So there's a big parallel with his journey and Tony's journey.
Yeah.
And for me, I love that because I want him to be the general of the MCU. Not Captain Marvel, not anybody else.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
It's cool because he's so young. I'll actually be able to see him grow into this.
Yeah.
If he keeps
It's been
going.
It's
Tom-
been good.
Tom Holland says he'll play Spider-Man forever. He
Heck
did.
yeah.
He really
Do
did.
it, Tom Holland. Have you watched his interviews? He
few.
is the most delightful person to watch an interview with. Like I love watching all of his interviews.
He's a great person.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they work out a deal. I think this is his last one, where they shared. They're sharing it with whoever Sony.
Yeah.
I think it's the last one. I definitely believe they already have it in place that he'll
yeah,
continue
dude, there's
on.
no way.
Because they put him as the leader here.
Yep.
So that's good news for us. We're gonna get to see Spider-Man kind of
Well-
grow up through every stage in life.
I'll tell you this: Tom Holland is my Spider-Man.
I agree.
Dude, I just wish Sony would sell the rights of the rest of the Spider-Man characters back to Marvel. You know it's not gonna happen.
It ain't
but-
gonna happen. They're gonna make money off Venom and all this other stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Sinister Six movie, which they're kind of teasing again.
Screw all that stuff. I just want to see Venom in the MCU.
Yep, just let them do it.
Yes, they'll do it right. No logo on his chest. Come on, people.
Yeah. So the multiverse. Did you see that story where they were they weren't opposed to bringing in Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield into the MCU?
What?
I heard, but it didn't actually happen.
No,
Wait, an MCU, you say?
Oh.
As a multiverse angle.
That would be freaking sweet.
I feel like it was a head fake just because of the trailer. I think it'd be sweet too, by the way.
Yeah.
But just because the trailer was talking about the multiverse, I think they freaking lie all the time.
Yeah.
Did you know the one scene in the trailer wasn't even in this movie?
Which one?
Where he beats up all the guys and the cop's like, "Oh, you do the Iron Man." He goes, "I can't. I don't have time. I'm doing your job."
Oh, yeah.
Oh
you're
yeah,
right.
that was my
You're
favorite.
right.
I
Yeah, it
love
wasn't even in
that
the movie.
scene.
Why?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they lie all the time, which I appreciate. I don't want nothing spoiled. I actually like trailers that okay, that's the vibe of the movie. If that
But
ain't it,
that's- yeah.
it's not in there. So that's
Right.
I'm all right with that. I don't like spoilers.
I'd be okay if it was just its own scene by itself. That's has nothing to do with something to do with the movie.
Yeah.
But, doesn't have to be in it. Like
Just
you
gives you the vibe.
Yep.
They totally played the Spider-Man theme in the trailer, by the way. That's what I was looking up.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't play the
good.
freaking movie.
Yeah, they didn't play it in the movie.
Come on.
If they did, I didn't catch it. But I don't think they did. They
Really
played the
don't.
Avengers theme a bit.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
And they played like a redone Avengers theme that kind of had a Spider-Man feel to it, but they didn't play the Spider-Man theme.
Right.
You did it in a freaking trailer.
Well, this was definitely a pop for me. I love this movie, and
Say
I
pop
will.
or bust, you jackass.
I don't care. I'm popping this all day, and I'll see it again. Fine, I'll do it for my pop or bust next week.
That's against the rules.
There are no rules.
Just to be honest, like you guys ruined this whole show today. Just saying. And by you guys, I mean you.
I thought it was entertaining.
I laughed the whole time.
Oh god. All right, I think that's it. Anybody else got anything you want to add to the Spider-Man deal? I'm sure we're gonna be talking about Marvel very soon about what's coming up in the next phase. About a week from now, Marvel's gonna give us some more ideas of what the future holds. They just don't want to spoil it yet.
Absolutely.
I don't know why. Real quick, I don't know why this movie was the. This should be the beginning of the next phase, not the end of phase 3.
It should have been.
Yeah, I don't think you're saying anything like most people aren't saying. Like, I just think it didn't make sense.
Why?
Like, finish. with
Endgame is the
Endgame.
perfect end, and it had Stan
Hence
Lee's
the
last.
name.
And it had Stan Lee's last cameo. Like
Oh man.
that's perfect. Let's leave that.
Wow.
See, I don't even care. In my mind, this is the beginning of the next phase.
Me
honestly.
too. I don't care
Yeah,
what people
you
say.
can say whatever you want.
This didn't really attach itself to the last movie like I thought it was going to.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think this is like, definitely. It just feels like I'm watching like a comic. That's
Yeah.
like brought to life.
I agree.
Which is cool.
The only thing that's sad about this is probably 2 years before we get another one, and I'm really excited to see the next step for Spider-Man.
And I feel like I'm watching a new story start.
yeah,
It definitely felt like the beginning of something new.
for Spider-Man,
so
not
but
for the MCU though. I still have no idea where they're going. If they go with the Skrulls, that's maybe. Well, we'll see. All right, let's wrap it. We're longest episode. We just keep going longer every week.
Oh, well. Well, we want to thank you for staying with us. If you have seen Spider-Man or anything else that we have talked about in today's episode, please leave us a comment. You can check us out on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at CPopUniverse. That's the letter C, P-O-P Universe. Please check us out there and leave us some comments. We want to know what you think.
And don't be afraid to go over on iTunes if you enjoyed this episode and give us a 5-star rating and a comment. If it's we actually get one, we'll read it on the air.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it would help us out greatly, guys. So we'd appreciate if you do. If you like it,
Love you long time.
love you long time.
Love you 3000.
Aw.
That was a good way to end it. All right, let's end it.
Bye.
Wrap it up. Bye. See you guys.